Hi, Dr. Breaux.
Hello. How you doing, Jennifer?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, good, good.
Getting everything. There we go.
Okay. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Everyone who sees it is certainly going to get a lot out of it. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, so I was just curious about the whole setup and everything. It's going to go on a website under the alumni corner, I'm assuming.
Yes, it is. It's going to go on the
Okay,
website, but not the entire interview. We're going to edit it and certain parts of it, just take
sure,
small snippets of it to go into the website.
sure. Just highlights. Yeah, that makes
Yes.
sense. All right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what prompted you to choose counseling as a career.
Well, I'm Dr. Walter Breaux III, and I am an associate professor at the Xavier University of Louisiana Counseling Program. And what prompted me to start counseling in the first place, I think, was a conversation with my academic advisor in my undergraduate program who told me about Xavier's program and about counseling as an option. I still didn't really know a lot about it, but it sounded like it aligned with my psychology undergrad degree.
Oh,
Yeah. And so when I got into the program, I think I really chose counseling as a profession and as a professional identity. Once I started taking the courses and working with the faculty there, I realized it was a good fit for me.
oh wow. So you're a psychology major in your undergrad.
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
that was the end.
Okay, how has the pandemic impacted your work as an LPC?
The pandemic has really, at first it was a challenge because I got so many more client referrals,
Oh
but
wow.
then it really became a great opportunity for me to streamline online and Zoom meetings and sessions. So becoming certified in telemental health, that was a step. And also just learn how to best navigate scheduling, how to deal with interruptions with technology, and all those different things. I feel like it really expanded my skill set. And that's something that I'm now bringing into the classroom and talking more about how to offer virtual sessions to clients. So yeah, definitely.
Very nice. I know that's something that virtual, most of us weren't, aware of really. And then all of a sudden we had to like get into it really quickly. So
Really
um,
quickly.
we did. What population do you primarily serve in your private practice?
I find most of the referrals I accept tend to be African American males between the ages of say 25 to 50. But I work across the spectrum. I think I've had some of the most interesting clinical breakthroughs with white females between
Wow.
the ages of 18 and 35. And I think some of that just goes to show how much of the traditional models of psychology are standardized around white women per se in our culture.
Yes.
But also, there's greater difference between my client and I. And so I think there's greater exploration into really getting the nuance instead of those assumptions already being made, which I often see sometimes when clients look more similar to me. They assume certain things about me, and I might assume certain things about them. And it's like, no, we're really different. We look similar. You know?
Right. Right. So it pushed you to go a little bit further in your thinking, would you say?
Definitely. It pushes you to go further in your thinking. But like a lot of the clients that I tend to work with tend to be clients who are having more, I'd say, existential crises in their life, who may even be looking at a certain otherness and what that otherness might mean for them, not just from a cultural variable, say race or gender, but just otherness in the way of thinking, personality traits, family histories, those kind of
Okay. Tell us a little bit about describe your work as an associate professor at Xavier.
Well, my work is pretty varied. So for me, a lot of my work I feel is focused on teaching and working with students, providing supervision within our clinical experience in those courses, and a lot of mentorship. A big part of being a counselor educator, and that's the distinction and identity that we have as faculty in counseling. We're counselor educators. We really see that mentorship is really important in guiding young professionals into the profession. Another part of my job includes advocating and serving on committees at a divisional level and also at a university level to make sure that the program is getting what it needs as far as resources and support from the university. And then, of course, there's the scholarship in promoting the profession as far as it's growing in different areas of competency and also making sure that what we're doing is best practice and effective for the clients that we serve.
Wow, very good. I can speak from personal experience having had you as a professor. I can remember going into the class not really knowing what to expect. And I can remember being pushed to the limit in my thinking and theories and, what I was going to choose and what theory best would work for me and my population and my clients. So I can definitely relate to that. So tell us how Xavier prepared you to work as a counselor and what lasting impact has the program had on your career, because you finished the program at Xavier, and now you're in the program giving back as like you said, as a mentor teacher.
Exactly. Yeah. So Xavier has been an interesting fixture in my life. Um, and I don't say this out of any arrogance, but I didn't really choose Xavier in the sense of I never aspired to go to Xavier as in high school. Xavier was just kind of over there. I want to be a police officer, and if I could skip
Oh,
college altogether, I would be happy. My parents said, "No, you need to go to college," and I thought, why not go to Xavier? It has that kind of esteem and prestige to it. But again, not thinking very critically about Xavier. And again, when I got there, I found that Xavier was a great fit. It just resonated with me. So I always feel like I was divinely guided to Xavier University. I got my undergraduate degree there, and I got my graduate degree also. And when I finished, I thought I was leaving Xavier behind. I would just be an alum, never planned to return again to teach or anything like that. But the opportunity presented itself and it just made sense. So I applied for the job and I was hired on. And so I find it very fortuitous. And I think Xavier has really shaped me in making me a servant leader. And so servant leadership is a term I've learned throughout my career, but I really feel that's something that was instilled in me early on at Xavier. And it's a big part of St. Drexel's vision
yes.
of what the university should be and what the university could offer to the world. And so I think that is something that has been instilled in me through the faculty who also have adopted the mission and make sure it's communicated to students. And, I'll pat myself on the back a little bit and say I think I was attentive and paid attention and I understood what it could mean for me if I were to join the community at Xavier in a broader sense.
Wow, that's awesome. I can't believe you wanted to be a police, because policeman, this is
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah.
natural fit for you.
That'd been interesting, right? I want to be FBI profiler, really.
Okay, I can definitely see that. Okay, that I can see. Like the I think it's the BAU on this Criminal Minds
Mhm.
television show, where they look into the criminal's mind and how it works and what makes them do. So I could definitely see you doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, lastly, what advice do you have for students that have and are considering counseling as a career? At this moment, right now,
Wow.
where we are,
Yeah.
going through a pandemic and everything, what can you say to them?
Well, it's interesting because I think the pandemic has shifted society a lot. And I'm not really sure that we've accepted or fully understood the shifts yet. But a lot of traditional requirements for being a counselor are still in place. So I still think there's a need for emotional maturity, which often seems off putting if you don't feel like you're emotionally mature. But it's really this piece of being open to learning yourself and being okay with yourself, even those parts of yourself that you think are not so attractive or not so okay. It's finding a way to embrace and find acceptance for self. And that seems like a real simple thing to do, but it opens the door for everything else. I think a lot of what counselor training is or counselor education is this piece of exploring who you are and how much of who you are is valuable in helping other people find who they are and find their way in life. And then what parts of yourself may be a hindrance to other people and maybe even to your own growth and development, and how you can start to refine and work on those things. And so, if you're interested in becoming a counselor, I think it's one to be open to the kind of self growth and self discovery. And I think two, to really know that if you're called to this profession, it's usually for a reason. You usually do have something to offer. And our profession is so broad, so many different populations and so many different talents you can apply that there's surely a place for you in this community.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Dr. Rowe. That concludes our interview. Do you have
Okay.
anything else that you'd like to add? Any questions that you have? You've been so open and honest, and I genuinely appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I don't think there's anything else I'd like to add necessarily. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that concludes